sweet smell of an optimistic beginning. Look at me, skating the page as if it only take 3 sessions to finish, if that. What have I done? But this actually took me 27 hours to do, which is way more than I expected. If you look at the stylized lines and shapes that I'm making, you can kind of tell that I wasn't expecting to make something very detailed. I really did try to make that shield work. It was so hard. I didn't have a good enough reference. On the topic of references, because as you can see I'm using a lot of them, I remember watching a video of Humberto Ramos drawing, and he said you should always use a reference, because that's how you get better. That's how you're able to draw from your mind. The truth is, even when you're drawing from memory, you're drawing from all the references that you've ever seen and drawn inside your mind. For example, had I already referenced someone holding a shield 7 or 8 times before, I would most likely be able to draw this from memory. In short, referencing helps you the most when you don't have a reference. I ended up just figuring that logically, Agent Carter wouldn't even be able to have a shield because, you know, it's the last of its kind. So there's no more vibranium. Okay, time to color. First thing I usually do is select the subject area, color it, then duplicate it. I use one and then turn the other one invisible for later use. It comes in handy in case I mess up. If you're anything like me, you don't particularly like slowly selecting the sketch over and over again. I started with the shadow colors because I wanted the style to be somewhere in between this so cool art by Dawor and this awesome Nightcrawler art by Creaturebox. And it looked as if Creaturebox had started with the shadows and added light, so I did the same. Oh, you remember this, right? There's always a block when you're trying to do something new, or something you haven't done in a while. You just need the patience to work through it. Frustration when you're working on art usually means you're about to learn something new, actually, or remind yourself of something that you forgot. That something for me was structure. When you first start shading, you're adding the visual support beams of your picture. If you start with the little details, everything might just fall apart, and you'll end up with this woman. Do you want all your pictures to look like this? Go for the biggest shapes, the darkest shadows, the hugest contrasts, and then work your way into the normal shading and the smaller details. I do this by duplicating the dark color layer, making it lighter or darker in case of the face in here, and then select and delete where I want to show shadow or light. Then after I get that structure in, I take a brush and add the highlights and the details. You could do it any way you want, really. The main point is to get the structure in there. But do you see what's happening here? My original style concept for this picture was between this, and because I had a hard time visually describing Hayley Atwell's magnificent face, I fell back on detail, which led me to more realistic work than I intended. I carried that through the entire drawing for the sake of unity, but I did, however, try to keep the shading a bit half-baked and jagged, just so to, please myself with some sense of style. I was just watching a talk John Cleese gave on how to be creative, and one of the things he said was that you should give yourself as much time as possible to ponder an idea, but once you've made the decision to go through with it, nothing stumps originality like self-doubt. You should go through with it. Imagine an artwork of Agent Carter as Captain America in this style, but a little bit more painterly. Could have been really, really cool, or just really bad looking. But you never know until you try. Regardless, I'm just happy I finished it. I honestly wanted to give up at the face. High five, self. Stay classy. I'm out. Thank you. Good night. Yes.